it's John and Michelle. We are back with a brand new project on the north side of Madison that actually is going to be fun. I'm thinking of it like a little doll house, right? Tight little compact, what, 800 square foot house?
Yes. Yeah, and really it's the project itself and the way that it came to us that makes it fun for me.
Yes.
We actually have 2 new investment clients that have been looking at flipping a house, and actually they were the ones who made me aware of the house. And in the process of doing that, we realized that the only way we were gonna get it is if I made a quick offer, and I ended up doing that, and then we decided, hey, you guys brought me the house, why don't we partner up and we'll make this thing happen together. So we're gonna have Kyle and Teresa working with us on this. It's gonna be really fun. So looking forward to meeting them here in just a minute.
Yeah, they'll be here in a second. All right. All right, I'm so excited they're going to get here soon.
I know, it's going to be great.
This is going to be a really fun project. Oh, and they're here. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to this fabulous flip.
So excited.
It's actually really exciting. I've just been in again, and there's so much work to do, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this is your first chance at this. I know you guys have done real estate investment on the buy and hold side. This is the first buy and flip. And you know, to be able to do this with somebody for their first time and kind of walk through, I mean, I've been through this a lot, and I always learn something new on every project, so you're gonna probably learn some new things with us at the same time as learning a bunch of new things for yourself. So excited about the project.
Yeah, and the good thing is that partnering up like this, you're able to learn and walk through the process with us, and I know you're gonna put a little sweat equity into the end of the project, so that'll be fun. We'll talk about that too, but I thought what we could do is just go through the house and just tour the house and talk about like things with John's experience and pointing out things to you that you should be looking for, things you don't want to miss, right? And then we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do to each room, and then the fun part is we're going to show you the design. So that's my favorite.
So exciting.
All right, you want to get started?
Yeah,
let's go.
Do it.
All right, let's go on in.
All right, it is a little bit dingy and smoky in here, so we left the baby Avi outside, and Teresa's in here, and we're letting Kyle sit outside with the baby, so that we can make sure we keep the infant safe. Like, quite a project we've got on our hands here, huh?
Yes. When I first walked in, it was definitely shocking, but
You know what I always say, the worse the better, right?
Yes.
It's the
For a
ugly and the
flip, for
worse,
sure.
the horrible and the sub, but it's the better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always say that the worse it smells, the better too, because smells you can get rid of pretty quick. And you know, really, as far as smells go, this is probably a 6 on a scale of 10. You know, like it's not that bad. I've been in somewhere literally it was tough to even walk in the room. Yeah, well, since we're in this great room, this is kind of the great room. It's also the kitchen. Obviously, what do you think of the flooring here?
I think we should keep it.
Yeah, I do too.
I really think it's bringing up a certain aroma that we're gonna. Anyway, yeah. So all this will come out. We'll hopefully not have to replace all the subfloor, but sometimes when you're dealing with smells like this, you have to do 1 or 2 things, and sometimes both of them. You'll have to do paint the subfloor with like a antimicrobial paint, like a Kills or something like that, to keep the smells locked in. And sometimes that's not quite enough, so we'll have to actually redo Luan, which is a very thin subfloor over top of that. So that'll kind of encapsulate any of the scents that are in there and prevent it from, you know, creeping back.
And it feels a little squishy, so we don't really know until we pull it up.
Yeah, some of that squishiness might just be the carpet. Yeah, it's a little, it's not stretched, and it's, you know, it's kind of bunched up a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously the walls in here, this is an interesting one because Michelle was like, oh, we just need to tear all the walls out. It's not a tear all the walls out kind of thing. You definitely see they've been patching this. These are poor patch jobs, and it just feels like it is so bad you won't be able to repair it. But the reality is they'll skim coat all of that, all the holes, and then they'll do what's called an orange peel texture. They'll actually take a little gun with drywall mud in it, and they make it real wet, and they just spray it on there, and it looks literally like an orange peel if you were to look at that, and that evens the texture out, and it'll feel brand new.
And what do you think? We were also considering like a 1/4-inch drywall, just going over it and keeping it super fresh and clean.
And actually, these are not full 2x4 framed walls. They're a little thinner. I think this is it's such an old house. I mean, it's probably like a 1 5/8 board. It's just a little thinner board. So by adding extra drywall, we can maybe get to a standard full-size door jamb. So that may be an issue, and I can't really tell. It does look like I'm correct there. They're definitely a little narrower. So all these doors, all the trim, all the casing, all the base in this house is gonna be new. One of the things that I always say that makes a house feel totally brand new is when you replace doors and casing and trim. Because the trim itself, like if you just paint old trim, it just doesn't feel great. Doors especially, they always feel a little, you know, chintzy when you don't replace them, but when you replace all of them, this house is gonna feel brand new when you walk in if we do all of that.
Yeah, and especially with trim, older trim's always shorter than we're used to now, and it just doesn't look that great. But I think one of the fun things about this house is we had this extra little thing here. We did a little pre-investigation with the contractor. That is the top of the stairwell. So they tried to see if there was something we could do with it, but we really can't. So we're gonna try to reduce it just a tad. And because if you look at the space, there's no real like living space, right? Where do you put all of your normal furniture and hang a television? So the idea was to put a television on that wall and make a big decorative cushion to put on top of that. So it's an actual seating area where you really are gonna be short on seating. So that's how we're gonna try to make up for that.
Yeah, I've seen it before. There's not much we can do. The only other option that you could do is just open up that staircase so that it's just open to the downstairs. And at that point, we may be able to get another half a step over. So we'll talk to the contractor on that. There's with the contracting guidelines, you have a ceiling height that you have to maintain. I believe it's 6'7" or.
And it was really short.
It's really close. I can't remember what exactly the height is. So we'll talk with the contractor on that. We'll make sure that we meet that and see what we can gain in that space.
Now, if you look behind you, there's the loveliest kitchen ever, right? So the idea was just to save money and to save construction costs, right? To save material costs. We'd like to keep the footprint as close as possible. So the idea is to sort of cut this bar, put a cookie cabinet here to start the cabinet run, and then keep everything sort of as it is, and then we're gonna think about walling in this stairwell because it's just a big open space. If we wall that in and get a refrigerator cabinet and a smaller refrigerator, then it'll feel more put together and less obtrusive out into the walk space.
Yeah, so one thing that you could use is a counter depth refrigerator in this space would shorten the depth of that refrigerator. You do not need a full-size refrigerator in a house of this size.
Just no space.
It just doesn't work. What you'd be better off doing is a smaller refrigerator. If you needed more refrigeration space, put another secondary refrigerator in the basement or something like that.
Yeah. Do you like that idea?
I do. I'm not completely sold on it yet because part of me says it could go over here as well. I know that we can't move things around all that much, so my space brain hasn't completely dialed into what exactly the best option is, but it may be that we keep it where it is.
Well, and the gas line is right here.
Right.
And we were gonna cut that off and do an electric stove, tap it off, and then do an electric stove, and then have this like an eating space. Because there's really nowhere for eating, right? Where are people gonna sit?
I was wondering what you guys are doing with this room over here.
That's one of the bedrooms.
Okay, so here we're in the back room now. This room was an addition. You can actually see the old exterior in this room. We're gonna keep that. It's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Yeah,
paint it and give it some new character.
Yeah.
We've got a nice big window here. I believe we're gonna keep it. I think this will be a den, but we'll market this as a 3-bedroom no matter what. It doesn't feel like the room is sloping too much, but you do step a little lower when you get in here. So we're gonna be looking at the foundation, looking to make sure that we're not having any issues here. But based on what I've seen, I don't think we have any real problems here. Okay, so in this room, we've got a pretty interesting texture on the wall. You also have these very interesting rounded corners. Now, I'm curious if that's actually all drywall or if that has been mudded and taped over trim at some point. This room has definitely got some interesting characteristics about it. It could have been just plaster that they put on and did that with, but this was, I think, the master at one point, the primary suite, and it's got this really interesting tray ceiling. I don't know exactly what we'll be able to do with it, if we're just gonna eliminate that, if we're gonna
He was thinking of squaring it off with the drywall,
that's probably the best way to do it. And when we do demo, we can just get through all of that all at once.
We need a working door too.
Yeah. So these little spaces, like you said, they usually are the easiest, but this is going to be a little bit tricky to make sure that we execute the space right.
A little trickier, yeah. Then of course the trim and the flooring and the paint and the light, and a closet.
Yeah.
And a door. A door that doesn't just close automatically. So, okay, yeah, cool. And then the second bedroom is sort of the same.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel as tired.
Feels bigger.
Right?
Tired, yeah, that's a good word for it.
Yeah. So I don't know, we might be, if we could return the other one to this former glory, then we might be able to get away with it. So these are always, when we're talking about these types of spaces, we feel like we have an idea, but when the contractor gets in here, he's going to be able to, the gentlemen who are actually doing the work, they might say, well, this might be an easy way to kind of skin this cat a little bit and make sure that we do it economically and get a result that's going to be something that we're satisfied with.
And like John's saying, the contractor is everything, right? They're the person who's going to do the work and keep you on schedule or not, and keep you on budget or not. So it's all about getting in with them. Like we have a meeting coming up with the contractor again. He's already walked it once. He's going to walk it again with our plan. Make sure everybody's on the same page. So that's probably one of the biggest learning lessons for a new flipper, right?
Yeah, and one of the big things about getting into a relationship with a contractor is making sure that they understand that you're putting an investment together, and to some degree they're going to have to work with you on some additional work. If it's always time and material and everything that they do or everything they lay their hand on, they're just basically milking you for every dollar, that's going to be a real challenge to work with. And some guys are really fast and maybe it works and you just really got to stay on top of them. Some guys want to try to do it by every piece that they touch. And so you got to make sure you have a good relationship with them so you understand how they're billing them. You need to make sure that you're making a win-win, because you can't have a contractor that's not getting paid enough, that doesn't want to work with you again. But you also can't allow that contractor to take advantage of you where you can't use him ever again because he's billed you so much you'll never make any money. So there's a happy balance there somewhere in finding the right contractors.
Okay, actually not bad for an old house basement. From what we normally see, this is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty dry. It's cool, it's a little damp, but it's not, I don't see a lot of water intrusion. Overall, it seems like there's a decent new panel. There's a panel here that I'm not exactly sure how it's tied into the house, so we'll have the electrician look at that when he's here. But there's a really great bathroom over here that I want to show.
It's beautiful, actually, right? Don't you think we should just sort of leave it as a second bathroom? The value.
It just makes you feel so welcomed, really.
It's so clean and beautiful.
So this is also a cinder block basement. It's going to be easy to paint the walls here. We'll paint the floors. We'll clean all this up. So it just feels fresh and clean again. It's amazing what a couple of coats of paint will do. It's not that this is really a bad basement. It just needs to be cleaned up. There's some drop ceiling stuff that we'll probably clean up a little bit. I'm not sure if we'll remove some of this. We do have somewhat of an updated furnace. I'm not exactly sure how old it is, but it certainly is an original. The water heater is from 2020, so it's not too old. Yeah, and it's just, we'll just spend some time cleaning this place up, and I think it's gonna feel nice and fresh and clean.
Perfect, okay.
So let's go.
Washer and dryer.
I believe, where was the, I think it's actually right
there.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. Yeah, you can see the dryer vent that was at one point here. This is where it vented out. This is actually your water lines. This is an interesting clean out.
Would you guys add one?
Yeah. We typically don't install washers and dryers.
Yeah.
So that you have the home.
Yep, I would just have the hookups and everything ready for them, but we won't put them in.
Yeah.
We do that for multiple reasons. One of them is once you start putting new appliances in, like if they go bad, now it's like they're giving you a call about those appliances. And appliances, if I don't have to add them, even in new construction, we typically don't do washers and dryers in there too.
We do the kitchen, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
All right,
Okay.
let's go upstairs for the second time and see the outside.
All right. Okay, so we're back outside, and Kyle and the baby are here. You guys have been hanging out, staying out of the smell. That was a good idea. But now we want to talk about this carport.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm always a fan of Michelle's design ideas because they commit us a lot of times to something that I would say we need to be a little bit more across the board palatable.
Or frugal, or whatever we want to say.
So, but her design idea for our carport is fantastic, and it's kind of a slat wall design, and we can't tear it down because there's an actual easement issue. If we were to tear this down to try to redo the whole thing, we'd actually lose our easement. So it's kind of an interesting situation. But we can repair it, and we'll be making this thing look nice and beautiful. I'm excited to see that idea come to fruition.
So you're going to be working, Kyle, on the landscaping,
That's
right?
the plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you now can take us around and tell us what you want to do.
Oh, that sounds good. I mean, just at first glance, obviously cleaning up some of the overgrowth on the front here, really making the beds kind of nice and add to the curb appeal a little bit. Maybe some boxwood or some colors to really kind of contrast with that gray blue color that you were just mentioning and the white trim. And yeah, just kind of leave some of the pieces that the hydrangea there looks pretty good, so maybe just trim it up a little bit and leave it in place. And then, tackle some of that overgrowth in the backyard. I was kind of peeking around while you guys were inside.
It's a fun one.
There's a lot of space and a lot of potential, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you have to see is the potential. Okay, Teresa, so we are in the lovely bathroom, right?
Yep.
Now, the key when you have one bathroom is that you have to max it out, right? There isn't any other opportunity to, I mean, yes, we have our basement bathroom.
Don't forget.
Basement bathroom, don't forget about that. And we will put new finishes in there, right? But it's not going to be as tricked out as the main bathroom upstairs. So the vision for this is to do an accent color. We're going to talk about design in a couple of minutes, but as you can see, the bathroom, it needs everything. If we can try to save a tub, we do, but this one isn't savable.
Okay.
So we're going to have to bring in a new tub. Okay. You don't want to not have a tub. You're going to want to always have the tub because you have to prepare for people bathing babies and them themselves wanting a bath.
Sure.
So yeah, everything in here is going to go. We've got, it's a cute little accent color. I want to show you the theme of everything. It's going to be really nice. So let's go do that. So this is my favorite part, right? I go through houses, I go through hoarder houses, I do all of the dirty work, but at the end of the day, when I get to come in and make it look pretty, that's obviously the fun part, right?
That's gotta be the best part.
And when I walked into this house, the first thing I try to like feel it, right? When you're walking into a house, you want to ask yourself, where is this house? Who's the potential buyer, right? What do you think they're gonna like? What style do you think that buyer is gonna really gravitate towards? And then you take that idea, you put it into a palette, and then you look at your budget, right? And you say, okay, my budget is this amount, this material is gonna cost this amount, and then you can sort of maneuver it to work together. So not every house do you buy the best materials, right? But I always say don't ever buy the worst. Always at least go up one step above the worst, because then that way, no matter the value of the project, then you've got a nice design for somebody to move into, right? That's sort of the goal, right? Is who's gonna live here and what would they like?
Sure.
Yeah. So.
And they can feel that, like, there's thought put into the design, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so the idea behind this one is sort of like a jewel box. That was the idea when I walked in, was a jewel box. So as you can see, it is I think a beautiful little interpretation. It's almost like a coastal feel, right? We're not too far from the lake over here, so that can work. But what I thought worked with this, because it is, a little under 800 square feet, we don't want to go with dark colors, right? We want to brighten it up as best we can and give the illusion of it being larger. So that's why we're going to put a nice, bright, little bit slightly gray, little bit slightly blue tone onto the wall. It'll brighten up. Just think about how bright that's going to look, right?
Sure.
All the new trim will have beautiful white trim, and then we're going to pull in an accent, like a slate blue accent. And what I was thinking about the accent color is putting it in the bathroom. And then putting it in the mudroom. What do you think?
I love that. It's gonna add that just personality.
Right?
Yeah, I love an accent color.
And a lot of times, when you're in a flip, you will just do everything the same color because you just want to leave it neutral. But if you have an opportunity to dress up that one singular bathroom, or if you have an opportunity to dress up a mudroom or something like that, that's the easiest way, because even if they don't like it, it's a can of paint.
Easy to
They can
change.
easily fix it. That's right. So that's what we don't want to leave somebody with issues. Now for the flooring, we're doing something very different. We're doing a white oak.
I love that.
Isn't it beautiful? I think this is going to just be spectacular. We're going to have that, again, it's going to run the full open space, so it'll give that illusion of space, but I brighten it not only from the wall and the ceiling, but from the floor up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everything's warm tones right now, right?
Right.
But we're doing cool tones in here for that same exact reason. So we're going to stick with a nice white cabinet, a bright white, right? And then in this particular house, we're not doing a solid surface countertop because it goes above budget for this particular house, right? So what we do is we use a really nice grade of laminate. And then there's many colors, but I thought, do you think this would go good?
I think this is great.
Right? Just a little bit of the gray.
It's a nice match, and like everything being light and bright. I like that.
And the blues, and just that nice balance. And then the way they make these now, we can edge them out. They look really good. And again, it's all about budget. When you're flipping a house, it isn't about what we like. It's about what the buyer is going to like and what's going to be the return on our investment. That's the whole goal, right? How do you marry that balance there? So we'll do that. So we're going to do the bright white cabinet, we'll do the laminate countertop, and then I also thought, again, trying to visually create space. If we were to put like little white subways, one, they've had their day, right? They've sort of had their day. But by doing those small little rectangles or squares, you're making the room feel small. But by using a large tile like this, then it's gonna run vertically and it will feel much more expansive. And again, a bright white just to bring it all up, and then silver fixtures.
Yes, I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Now I want your opinion on one thing. Now that you know that we have this color and this run of theme, right? Silvers, blues, light grays, just a nice cool tone. I want to put a luxury vinyl, a rolled vinyl, which is very eco-friendly, it's very durable, it's moppable, it's not the rolled vinyl of decades past. They're beautiful and fun now, right?
Oh.
Aren't they neat?
Yeah.
And they're as durable as—
I've never seen that.
I know, we put them in a lot of our flips now to
Same.
bring in accents.
Yeah.
So instead of tiling at the expense of tile, which grout turns, they can
Right.
crack. You have a cracked tile, you have a real issue. This is just gonna look like this forever.
Interesting.
I know. So, but knowing what we're gonna do, this is gonna go in the mudroom and the bathroom. What do you think? Which one do you think actually would go best? This is a little more committed design, but we
Right.
put this in one house and it looked fantastic. But this one's just a little bit of a lighter feel, as you can see just by looking at them. What do
Yeah.
you think works with this?
I don't think you could go wrong with either. I mean, I do love the boldness of this, but I do also think this could look good with all the gray kind of little accents that you have.
Just sort of pulls
like,
it.
Yeah, I almost like this better.
Okay, I was leaning in this direction
Yeah.
too. I literally just had this put in a house a couple of weeks ago and it looked just phenomenal, but that house is a little thicker.
Sure.
Yeah, this is, again, we want it from the floor up, we're going with bright. So
I like it.
go with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
And
choose
I think
this
the
one.
gray will look good.
Yeah, I think
With,
if you
like,
put
a
the whole
little
palette
bright,
together, right?
yeah.
Look, so we're gonna have we'll scoot this one out of the way. All right, so this is what we're gonna end up with. We're gonna have our white oak, we're gonna have our accent floor, we're gonna have our subway tile in bright white, we're gonna have a white bright cabinet, then we're gonna use these just pale grayish blues with an accent blue, and then we're gonna have this as our countertop.
It looks really good.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it looks really
And
good.
silver fixtures, cute little jewelry, right, that we can put in the house. And then one last thing we have to decide. So for bedrooms, most of the time we put carpet back in bedrooms. If it's a higher priced home, we're gonna run the engineered hardwood or the luxury vinyl plank throughout the whole house. But in this particular house, we wanna use carpet in the bedrooms to save on the budget.
Sure.
And a lot of people like carpet in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
So the idea behind that is we're just gonna do a nicer grade, and then I pulled this one. I don't like to do too light because it shows dirt so easily.
Yep.
And then why would we not want too dark?
Right. I mean, it's just gonna look small.
It's gonna look
and
small.
closed in, and no one likes.
And no one
dark
likes that.
carpet.
And then look, it's just like a medium tone right between
Yeah,
those.
that's
And if you
perfect.
put the whole palette together, it's gonna run up against this white oak floor. I think that's gonna just look beautiful.
It's gonna flow really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah.
Well,
So
thanks for your
exciting.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like the most fun part.
I know, right?
Your first project is always going to present some challenges, and certainly even with us being this a couple hundred projects, we'll still have some challenges and there'll still be some pain moments, but we'll get through them. And in the end, I'm sure we're going to do just fine. And I'm hoping that you guys can learn a lot through this experience. And I know we're going to learn just working with clients how that dynamic works. So look excited to go through this with you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, really looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Well,
All right.
enjoy your weekend, enjoy your time with your baby, and we look forward to seeing you for the next thing as we start moving this house forward.
Sounds good.
Perfect. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Good, thank you.
All right, see you guys. Okay, this is going to be a fun project, right? Like you said, this will be something new for us to do as well, seeing it through other people's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really interested to see how other people see us as we're doing this and what they think of our process, because there's still a lot for us to learn.
Right. Every time, every house.
Every house we learn a little something new. So
Yeah.
seeing it happen in front of us with another group, I think we're going to learn a lot. I know that they're going to learn a lot, and I'm really excited to see this through the end and have this beautiful home come back to life.
Exactly, which is the best part. And this is video 1. It's going to be a series, so we hope that you'll follow us. Living a Midwest Life, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. Of course, on all of our social channels. We're going to be running this project over the next 45, 60 days. So subscribe, catch all the new videos, and I guess until next time, right?
Yeah, see you later.